Hey everyone, welcome to today's Explainer. So today we are tackling something that I know drives so many language learners absolutely crazy, making that huge jump from just passively listening to actually speaking with confidence. We're diving into a 5-day challenge method we found in our source material that's pretty much a game changer for how you practice English. You know that feeling, right? When you can listen to a podcast, perfectly understand everything, but the second you try to open your mouth to respond, poof, your mind just goes blank. Well, if that sounds familiar, you are in exactly the right place, because we're going to bridge that gap once and for all. Now it begs the question, is just listening to English enough? A lot of us kind of fall into the super comfortable trap of thinking, hey, if I just binge watch enough Netflix in English or have an audiobook playing all day, fluency is just going to magically happen. But realistically, it really doesn't work like that. It's kind of like watching someone swim laps for 100 hours and then expecting to just dive into the deep end and win a race. No way, right? If you really want to speak better, you actually have to take that scary leap and speak out loud. It feels totally intimidating at first, for sure, but it's basically a biological necessity for real fluency. Think about it. Passive listening is, well, it's safe, it's cozy. Your brain is only doing half the work, just taking things in. But honestly, it completely leaves your actual speaking skills stuck in the mud. Active speaking, on the other hand, demands physical action. Getting used to the actual feeling of speaking means you have to use your vocal cords, you've got to engage your mouth muscles, and coordinate your breathing. It literally forces your brain to switch gears from just downloading information to actively generating it. Active speaking is the real path to fluency here. You literally cannot learn the physical act of speaking without, actually using the physical machinery of your own body. Okay, so how do we actually do this if we don't have a conversation partner sitting right next to us? Well, the answer is this incredible technique called shadowing. It's a massive powerhouse of a tool. In fact, polyglots and even professional UN interpreters use this all the time. The idea is simple. You listen to spoken English and you immediately copy it. You mimic the sounds, the rhythm, the entire music of the sentence. It's like you're playing the role of an immediate echo to a native speaker. And the best part? It completely eliminates that terrifying what do I say feeling, because the exact words are handed right to you. So the mechanics of this shadowing process are actually beautifully simple. It's basically 3 steps: listen, repeat, and copy. And when I say copy, I really mean mirror the speaker. We aren't just reading words off a page like a robot here. You want to consciously slow down your pacing and really feel where the heavy stress lands in a sentence. Every single language has its own unique prosody, that natural melody and intonation. You really got to focus heavily on the music of the words. Act exactly like an echo, capturing all those highs, the lows, and even the little pauses. Now, you might be wondering, why is this specific method so ridiculously effective? Well, it actually comes down to some really cool neurology and muscle memory. First off, it's literally a physical workout for your face. Your jaw, your tongue, your lips, they physically adapt to forming these brand new English sounds. And second, at the exact same time, your brain is firing off all these neurons, rapidly mapping out complex sentence patterns. Because your physical muscle memory and your brain's cognitive processing are happening at the exact same time, your confidence and fluency just naturally start to shoot up. You are, quite literally, rewiring yourself to speak. Now, I know what you're probably thinking, but what about my accent? That's a huge fear, right? People worry endlessly about sounding foreign. But look, whether you are echoing a British speaker, an American, or an Australian, the goal is never to flawlessly mimic the accent itself. I mean, having an accent just means you're smart enough to speak more than one language. The real goal here is confident expression. You just want to catch that underlying rhythm and stress. So honestly, just completely let go of the pressure to sound like a perfect native speaker. Just focus on the flow. For this rewiring to actually work, though, there is one absolute golden rule you have to follow: 5 minutes. Yep, that's it. Consistency is the whole ballgame here. Neurologically speaking, doing just 5 focused minutes of daily shadowing practice is infinitely better than cramming a whole hour of practice into one Sunday afternoon. It's all about that frequent, manageable exposure. This whole idea of spaced repetition builds far stronger neural connections in the brain than massive, exhausting study sessions. Plus, it completely saves you from burning out. Okay, real talk. During those daily 5 minutes, you are going to stumble. Your tongue is going to get tied up, you'll trip over words, it's going to happen. But we really need a psychological shift here. Mistakes mean you're learning. Actually, neuroscientists have found that making errors triggers the release of these neuromodulators in your brain that literally prime it to learn faster. So an error isn't a failure at all. It's the undeniable proof that you are stretching way past your comfort zone. Let's be honest, if you aren't making any mistakes, you probably aren't pushing yourself hard enough to actually grow. When you first kick off this challenge, your mouth is probably going to feel super clumsy. It's going to feel entirely unnatural. And that is exactly why the real secret to mastering shadowing is making a personal promise to yourself right now. Promise that you won't give up today or tomorrow. It is 100% normal to feel like you sound a bit ridiculous at first. You just got to push right through that awkward phase. Give yourself the grace to sound a little messy, but demand the consistency from yourself to just show up and try again tomorrow. So what does an actual session look like? It's incredibly straightforward. You just follow the subtitles of whatever video or audio you're using. Keep an eye out for any highlighted words. Those help guide your natural rhythm. And most importantly, speak out loud. A really good rule of thumb here, so you don't overwhelm your brain, is just to start small. Don't go trying to shadow intense, rapid-fire political speeches on day one. Start with simple stuff, and again, be totally okay with the fact that it's going to feel kind of weird at first. In the very first stage of this challenge, you're going to tackle simple, highly positive affirmations. We're talking things like, I am learning English, or I am not afraid to make mistakes. Now, why affirmations? Well, in linguistics, there's this thing called the affective filter. Basically, if you're super stressed or anxious, your brain literally blocks learning. By kicking off with short, uplifting phrases, you're doing two awesome things at once. You're getting an easy handle on the physical sounds, and you're immediately dropping that anxiety level. It builds up momentum and courage right off the bat. I really want to take a quick second to pause here because this is so crucial. When you sit down, hit play on that practice audio, and speak those short sentences out loud, you are showing up. And I want to give you a massive shout out for that effort alone. Just doing the actual work, even when it feels super goofy, even when you'd rather be doing literally anything else like scrolling social media, that right there is exactly how real progress happens. In absolutely anything. Once you've got those short phrases nailed down, the shadowing practice slowly kicks things up a notch. You'll move into slightly longer, more complex sentences, like, my effort today creates my fluency tomorrow, or I speak English to express, not to be perfect. And this is where we see a really beautiful mindset shift. We're moving from just taking basic action right into a mindset of long-term growth. You're actively training your brain to embrace the whole journey, mistakes and all. There's a really powerful concept tucked inside those intermediate sentences that we absolutely have to highlight. Express, don't perfect. Think about it. The entire evolutionary purpose of speaking any language is just to share your thoughts and your feelings with another human being. It is absolutely, unequivocally not about achieving flawless, robotic perfection. If you can get your point across, if you can truly express yourself and have someone else understand you, guess what? You've succeeded in language. Full stop. As you keep going, the practice starts giving you these little realizations that completely reframe how you look at learning. You'll echo phrases like, English is not hard, it's just new, or even small practice makes a big difference. These are designed to completely empower you. They help you realize that learning a language isn't this impossible giant mountain to climb. It's just a new skill. It just needs habit building. Once you start looking at it as a simple daily habit instead of some massive test of your intelligence, the whole shebang gets infinitely easier. And check this out. If you follow this structured progression, reading and echoing these phrases, you can hit a massive milestone in just a single sitting, 30 sentences. Hitting 30 practice sentences on day one is huge. It totally proves how powerful this focused, small-scale effort actually is. You don't need to dedicate hours and hours of your life to this. You just need those 5 concentrated minutes to hit that magic number and to prove to yourself that, yeah, you can totally do this. So we've broken down exactly why passive listening holds you back, how the mechanics of shadowing literally rewire your brain and your mouth, and the compound power of just showing up for 5 minutes a day. But as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a direct challenge. I want you to really ask yourself, will your effort today create your fluency tomorrow? The entire blueprint for active speaking is sitting right in your hands now. All that's left is for you to step up, start echoing, and find out.